Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the wiring of Big Brain. I'm just going to wait for the nighttime to finish here, so this is the perfect time to start the stream and let a couple people join, that kind of stuff. I am going to be wiring Big Brain. It is an 8-part um, AI system designed to fully automate everything in your base, at least for console edition. Hopefully they'll add the industrial update to this sooner or later, but until then, this is pretty much most of the stuff I could figure out how to automate that would appeal to most players. So it's this big long system right here. So in this live stream, I am going to be using this live stream kind of as like a behind the scenes. I'm going to be wiring all of this together and explaining everything as I go. As I do that, um, you guys will, it, for those who want the live and the long version, the whole wiring version and the whole explanation, well, then this is going to be for you. And then I'm also going to be making this into a video, so it's the short form version of this for those who want to watch that. If you want to come back for a reference, you just need a quick reference. You want to just look at it and throw some numbers in, and you'll be good. So, but as always, with all of my streams, you guys are going to have to give me 5-10 minutes. I'm going to wait for the sun to come up, and then as soon as it does, I'm going to start doing my filming there, and then you guys can hang out, ask questions. Yeah, and for those of you who are watching in the future, again, just skip forward a couple of minutes until it's bright. You see me moving, and yeah, enjoy. Okay, I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Okay. So here we go. Alright, so stand back here. Line this up. The floor. Alright. Alright, so this is what Big Brain looks like without all of the wiring involved. This is a 9-part system that does so many different things. The first thing we're going to wire is our power in. The second thing we're going to wire is our power management system. Third thing we're going to wire is our battery in power, our battery out power, our RAID detector, our lockdown system, and then we have our secondary systems, so our auto lights and auto air locks. We also have a Tesla trap setup, and then we have a 60 turret setup. As well, for our turrets, we also have 1 extra power for all of our turrets, so we're able to run different things off of our turrets. And these things are also have secondary features and functions for RAID detection, which we will get into later when it comes to wiring this stuff. But we're going to do this last. So, yeah, so we're going to start here right at the beginning for our power in. So what I highly recommend is that you have 8 wind turbines for this, and you're going to want to spread them out in a circle, which is a 16 by 16 square. That's going to give you the best and appropriate space in between all of your wind turbines in a 16 by 16. And then it's also going to allow you to place 1 more in the center on your base, giving you a total of 9 wind turbines that are properly and evenly spaced. So what you're going to do is you're going to attach all 8 wind turbines into one thing right here, and then you're going to attach another your 9th wind turbine into here, and then the rest are going to be solar panels. So you're going to have 7 solar panels, and they're going to be facing off in different directions. I would recommend east and west, unless you have a sun that travels only in the south on your map. And you'll know. So if you have a sun that rises in the southeast and sets in the southwest, then just place all of your solar panels to the south. If you do not have that, then place half of your panels, or 4 panels to the east, and then 3 panels to the west. And that's going to allow you the best power intake for this. Because the whole goal for this system is to be providing over 800 power consistently, somewhere around 850 or something like that, but at least over 800 power consistently. So by using your 9 wind turbines, you'll have more than enough to do that, and then you have your extra solar for backup. And then not only that, but these extra solar panels will provide trickle charges to different things along the way should all of your wind turbines get blown up. Yeah. Another thing is for this as well is you want to have all of these spread out on your roof. You don't want them placed below any of your wind turbines. Chances are they're going to shoot HV rockets at your wind turbines to set them on fire, and that fire will destroy these. So you want these on your roof, away from your wind turbines. So if your one wind turbine does get destroyed, all of this will still work. Next is you're going to make these trees. Again, they're going to be spread out on your roof, but you still want to make the same trees. You're going to do that for both. So your wind turbines, as long as they're 10 stories off the ground or off the base foundation, should be providing you on average 880 power, because each one will provide on average 110 power, which is why we want that extra wind turbine in there, which does fit. And then these are just to help, so throughout the day, which we have more sunlight, that will keep up. Then you're going to attach these two pieces into this. And this is your power management system. And we're going to get into wiring that in just a second. Okay. Intake is done. Do do do. So we'll turn on my fake power. Okay, so now we're moving on to power management. So, power management, what does that mean? Well, the one thing we want to do is we want to separate the power into two different ways. We want to, first of all, run everything here off of straight power, meaning it goes right from the wind turbines through our trees, right here, and then directly to everything that we need to run, avoiding going into the battery. And the reason we're doing that is because you get a 20% loss of whatever you put into the battery. So to quickly explain that, if this is being used at max output, which is 100 on this, if you're using all 100 power, then you need to be putting in an 120 power in order to make up for that 20% loss. So over the course of 8 batteries that we're trying to charge off of this system, then you're saving about, well, what is that? You're saving 20 times 8, so that's 160 power. So you're saving a wind turbine's worth of power, or more actually, a wind turbine and a half's worth of power by simply running it through this system. So let's do that. So for me, you guys don't have to set everything up exactly how you see it, but it's a lot easier if you do. And again, you don't have to use the colored lines. All of this is just to make things easier for you guys to see, so you guys can understand where all the wires go. And one more thing I should also mention about this is probably one of the most important pieces of your base. So this is going to go into the most secure part of your base. Because you really want this to work. If it doesn't work, that's okay, right? It's everything will still continue to function, However, you really want this, right? Because then you will become limited on power and limited. So this is the most secure thing. So our direct power is coming into here. It is then being split off of this left side. And we're going to go up here. And we're going to go down here. We're going to go into this green memory cell. We're going to go from the memory cell and then from this right side and again from the right side. So that's how the power is flowing. It's coming in, it's going through, and then it's going into all of the different things that we are running. So in this case, this one's going to be our turrets, this is going to be our lockdown system, this is going to be our secondary system, and then this last one here is for charging your RAID batteries. So, however, I really want some lights on in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this into a white line, and temporarily I'm going to plug in these lights because I really would like some light. So I'll show you how this is working, right? So I have 10 lights up there, which require 20 power. Plus I need to power this electrical branch, so I'm going to need 21 power. And then I need to supply this electrical branch, which is 22, and then this one, which is 23. And then I also have to count for 2 more there, so 24, 25. So I'm going to set this to 25, and then I'm going to set this one to 20. However, this is going out the wrong side currently. So here, let me just, I will quickly So there. So now you can see how the power is flowing through the system. It's going up and through here, up into here, into my lights, and then it's continuing and going through. All right. However, if we do not have enough power to run everything, and we get into a low power state, then we don't want to be sending the power out through everything, because in a low power state, our battery backup system is going to take over. So now we're sending more power into the system than we need. So instead, we're going to divert that wasted power right here, in this case, our 614, and we're going to divert it to our battery backup system. Now, in order to do that, we need to build a low power state into this. So in order to build a low power state, we're going to go to blue because we're going to be providing power. No. So we're going to go to yellow because we need to provide sorry, I can't wire and talk at the same time. All right, so we need to provide a way for this to figure out Jesus. Sorry, guys. I explained that terribly. All right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be working on is the power management system. We're going to get all of this wired up. Now, why have a power management system at all? Well, the first reason to have a power management system is because I want to be running all of these things off of power directly coming from our wind turbines and not from the battery. And the reason for that is because you get a 20% loss from the battery by charging the battery. So if this is being actively used at 100, you actually need to be providing it 120 power, which means because of that, to make up for that 20% loss. And then if you're going to do that over the course of 8 batteries, then you're looking at, well, 20 times 8, that's 160 power that extra power that you need to be using. Where in this case, if you use this system, by powering everything directly, you're going to be saving that, which is a whole wind turbine and a half worth of power, because every wind turbine is on average 110 power per day. So in order to wire this up and to accomplish that, we're going to go up into here. Sorry, I need my black wire. Our black wire is our direct straight power. And then we're going to break off from the left side here. Go up into here. And then we're going to go from our right side here. Let's make that a little bit taller. Now, as you can see, so our power is coming in. It's going through this, and then it's powering all of our lights. And then we're going to continue that on. Now, these lights are temporary, by the way. I just want to have lights. The power continues on into here. Let's add an extra, let's say 27, just to make all of those lights turn on. There we go. Okay, so all of our power is now going through here. So now this will be our turret line. This is going to be our lockdown line, and this one is going to be our secondary systems line, and this is going to be for our RAID battery, charger. Right? This is, or just somewhere, if you want to add on to the system later, then you have an extra spot and an extra space to do that. I currently have the lights going on in here now, again, just because I want some lights. So that is going to power your main systems. Now, that's all well and good, but now we want to add a low power state into it. So the low power state means that when we're not producing enough power, so in this case, we need 27. In this case, we need 27 power. As soon as we're not producing that 27 power, then our battery backup system is going to kick in and take over. So our battery backup will produce that 27 power for us. So if this drops down to 10 power, then we're kicking out 10 power into extra power into the system, and it's not being used. So instead, we want to send that 10 power back to the batteries, so we're both charging and discharging the batteries at the same time. A large battery on max drain will take 4 hours to drain. But by using this, should you lose, say, half your wind turbines, you can extend the life of those by half, so you can get 6 hours of battery life out of your backup. Or if you use my system, you'll get even more, but we'll get to that later. So in order to do that, we need to do a few things. So I use yellow lines as my activator lines. So that's what I'm going to do here. So we're going to take our activator line. Actually, before we do that, we're actually going to turn this into a blue line. So whatever power we're not using, in this case 612, we want to use this power now to charge our batteries. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to go down over here. Let's go a little bit lower. There we go. So now, right here, all of our excess power is going to be sent off into our battery system, which we will get to in just a minute. But we still need to have our low power state. So what we're going to do is we're going to go now to our yellow line. Connect that up. And then we're going to take our other yellow line. We're going to go a little lower with this one. And a little farther out. Not quite that far out, but a little farther out. And we're going to line this one up with the top. And then the second one is going to follow the same path. Only this one is going to go in that second spot. Just like that. So now we need to configure this. Eventually we are going to add one more thing into this because this is our low power mode activator. So this is going to connect also into our battery system. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 power. So we're going to put 4 here. There we go. Now as soon as this drops below 4, so we're no longer producing the 27, 28. So we need 28 power. As soon as we drop 28 plus 4, 32. So as soon as we drop below 32 incoming power in this case, then our low power mode will kick in. Actually, let's show you that. Let's show you that. So I'm going to hook this up to here. And then we'll connect this up into here. Okay, so now we're going to go, I said 32. Yes, so we'll configure this to be 32. So now you can see everything's on. Right? We have our 1 power coming out here, everything is on. Now as soon as we drop below that 30, oh, I also only have 2 things connected to it. But anyway, as soon as we drop below this 3, then this will kick in and the power will start coming out of here. So we're going to go to 30. And there you go. So now our power is coming out of here. So now our power is going into our batteries, charging them at the same time that they're being discharged. So that's what this thing does. We're just going to reconnect this back up. So that's what that's for. And yeah, power management system. We will come back to this a little bit later on, but that's how you hook that up. All right. Moving on. We'll start this here in just a second. All right, so this is the power intake. This is pretty straightforward. It doesn't get very much easier than this. However, let's wire it up. So our power is going to be coming in from here. Power is going to be coming in from here, and we're going to go up a little higher. And we're going to go down here. Into here. From the left side here, I'm going to go into here. And then from the right side, to here. Just like that. Now, I've already gone ahead and taken the liberty of hooking them all up, except for one here in the middle. Now, the reason I didn't hook that one up is because this one is going to be specifically for its own system later on. So I'm going to hook up this one with a green wire. There are 3 batteries that are going to be hooked up, all doing different things. So we're going to hook up a green battery. We're going to hook up a, what was it? A yellow battery. Oops. And a red battery. It's on the inside. There we go. Now I want these to pretty much be even. I want them both to be around 10. It doesn't have to be, but that's what I like them to be, because again, I like to make everything robust. So as soon as our power comes in, which actually, here, let's show you. So let's connect this to this now. So we're going to go from our right side here. Connect it to there. And then we're going to take this one, which is our low power. So this first one is excess power, and then the second one is low power. So we're going to take our low power, and hook that up. So right now, all the excess power we're getting, which is 607, is then being sent into here, which is then giving us 21 power guaranteed to these 3. And then evenly distributing all the power to the rest. In this case, we're getting 64 power into each, which is more than enough. All right, so look how fast that thing is charging. Right, we're almost going up by minutes at a time. Now, when all of this is said and done, this one right here, this should be set to 800 when everything is connected, all 60 turrets, everything like that. And then with your 9 wind turbines producing on average 110 power, some higher, some lower, but let's say 110,
That should be about 1,000 power, right? So that gives you 200 power to play with, plus a couple of solar panels, plus they're going to be a lot higher than that. So you're getting about 400 extra power going into this. So you're probably going to get about 50 power per battery on average to charge your batteries. So this is how you're going to charge all of your batteries. Um, yeah. So these three systems right here, actually I'll do that in a minute because this is also part of it. So, because this is your main power system. Um, yeah, okay. Whoever's watching here me live right now, I'm just going to be taking a quick 2-minute break. I'll be right back, and then we're going to get into the power out. Okay, I am back. I just need 1 minute. All right. Okay, so we've brought all of our power in. Now we need to bring all of our power out. Now, you could easily just separate these all and run all of this stuff on separate batteries, but I don't want to do that. I want to combine all of my turrets into one string and have access to them at one push of a button. So I'm going to do a few things here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our tree. So that's for our 8 batteries, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have 3 extras, so our 11. But we're only worrying about the 8. We want 800 power. So coming from our top piece right here, we're going to continue on with our blue line. We're going to go here. And then from here, we're going to go up into our timer. And then from our timer up to here. And then from here, we're going to go over to here. So that's how our battery power is going to run. It's going to all combine into here. In this case, we have 800. It'll go up to here. It'll all be siphoned out through here. It'll go up, and then it'll power all of our things. So if we activate this, you can see everything is on, and we're receiving 796 power. Now, these right here are going to match these right here. So whatever this is set to, so this is 20, then this one will also be set to 20. Because this is going to be our turret line, this left side is going to be our lockdown line, and this right side is going to be our secondary systems line, which is down there at the end. So we want to make sure that whatever these two numbers are, it gets matched right here. Now, it's all fine and well, but why do I have this timer here? Well, the reason for this timer is because installed in this is what I like to call my anti-drain system. So I can have this thing activated in a multiple of different ways, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But one of the things I can do for this is I can have this activate on a low power mode. So when we reach our low power, right, that's what this thing is here for. When we reach our low power, it's going to activate this timer, turning on all of our stuff. And we're going to set this timer to be 30 minutes. I actually didn't do the math on this. 60 times 30. That's 1800. So that's going to be 1800. So now if we get into a low power state, all of our battery backup system will turn on for 30 minutes, which is more than enough time for us to get back into a high power state, and then this will turn off, and then we just continue charging our battery. This also comes into importance later, but for now, that's basically what that is. So we're going to set that up real quick. In order to do that, we're going to take our orange line here. Set that up. And this goes up into the A side. And then from here, we go into here. So Then we go over here and we connect that to this piece over here. So actually, let's start at this one. So we'll start here. We'll work our way over to here. Run this down to the floor. There we go. That's 4. So this XOR switch, right? We're providing enough power. We're providing that whatever we need plus 4. So it's blocking this input because this is an XOR switch. Only one can work. So as soon as we get into a low power state, this will unblock, allowing power to be sent through here, into here, and then activating the timer. So we can actually simulate that by, let's just say we get into a low power state. There we go. So now our timer has just been activated. We have 30 minutes of backup power. But within that 30 minutes, we'll have gained enough power regeneration. And then the only time you really should have to worry about that if you have your solar panels is at night. So it's going to happen very, very rarely, but that's what that's set up for. Now, this one is set up for the destruction detection, which is actually this right here in front of you. But we're going to do the turrets. We're going to get to this because this is its own thing. But this is for the destruction detection. So something, if it gets triggered by being destroyed, the thing outside, then it'll activate the timer again. That's important. We'll get to that later on. So we're going to skip this, and we're going to move right on now to the base lockdown system. All right, so base lockdown system. What is it? Why do we use it? Well, the reason we have it is because with this system installed, you never have to close or open a garage door pretty much ever as long as this thing is installed. There's 3 different ways that this can be activated. It can be activated either manually, it's on a timer, so after an indeterminate amount of time, the system will go off, and it's also activated on the destruction detection. So there are 3 different ways for this to be activated. So the first thing we want to do is we want to power everything. So coming here from this second line here, which color did I make this? We're going to do our black line because this is our straight main power line. Right, so we're going to use our black line. Yeah, okay, we'll go across the roof. And I want that on the... Okay. And this can go on the A or the B side, doesn't matter. But for aesthetics right now, Okay. And then this is going to go in the second spot because it's going to match. All right, good enough. So I'm actually going to turn this off. Okay, so this has to be 19. And this one also has to be 19 because the lockdown system requires 19 power. I got to make sure I have that there. So there we go. Okay, so we have 18 power. Now here's what we're going to do. So we're going to go back to our default black line. Not so far down. So that's going to power something. This is going to power something else. And then this is going to make a repeater, or at least it will later on. All right, so it comes in, goes through all of these, up through into there. Now, the next thing we need to hook up, we're going to grab a red line. This is going to go up. Power this, which is then going to go up and power this. Which then powers this. Next thing we're going to hook up, we're going to go for a green line here, is going to be our laser. Oh, come on. And this is going to trigger this. Okay. Okay, now this is going to be a trigger system. Okay. So that's all of that. Alright, now we need orange line to finish off this. So you're going to want to set this timer right here before you hook this up. We'll get to that in a second. This timer is going to be 1 second. And this timer is, you kind of set this one to your play style, right? So if you're in a very active clan, you guys are always online, and you only really ever want to have to worry about the opening, closing doors if you're being raided, then I would set this to go off every 8 hours, which would be 28,800. All right, so 28,800. So every 8 hours, all of the doors in your base will close, and then you just have to go and open them. But this is guaranteeing that at least 3 times a day, all of the doors in your base are being closed. And you can set this to a shorter amount of time. You can set this to like 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you want. But I would at least do 8 hours, which is 28,800. Yeah. So now we're going to reset this back up. And activate it. So 8 hours from now, all of my doors will close. Now, we have, actually this green line has to be changed. Let's do red line. No, not red line. Yellow. This is an activator anyway. Okay, so yellow line. So now we have to hook up this memory cell. And this is the reason why we have one of these extra batteries. So we're going to go to our green line. And yeah, let's follow it. Let's bring it along the wall, follow the rest. So go to our green line. And then from the left side into here. And then from the right side into here. And then from the left side here, we're going to go to orange, because this is a blocker. Yeah, let's do it this way. Blocker. And then we need one final trigger. like that. Okay, so how exactly does this all work? Well, to be honest, it's fairly. Mm, this kind of looks like a mess, actually. Mm. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so lockdown system. Why do we want it? How to build it? Well, there's three reasons. There's three ways to activate it, but the main reason we want it is because we don't ever want to have to open and close our garage doors ever again, really. And this system allows you to do that. So we're going to first start by connecting our A and our B side, into our second electrical branch on our battery backup, and our second electrical branch on um, our power management system. Both of these are going to be set to 19 because that's how much power we're going to need. So running them in from there, we're going to go back to our default black line, and we're going to start adding power into our system. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to be powering a switch here, or our a timer, I should say. Activating our timer, and then from our timer, I don't want it quite so close, but from our timer, we're going to go into here, from here, into here, and then from here into here. So when this is activated, well, let's actually configure this to what it should be, which is 5. So when this is activated, it's going to allow power to be put through here, which is then going to allow power to pass through from here through the OR. Ooh, I got these backwards. And switch, OR switch. There we go. So it'll allow power to pass through from B, and then it'll go through into your door controllers. This timer, you're going to set the timer to be 1 second, because all you need is enough time for the power to pass through for 1 second to activate all of your doors. So this is the main component that is activating all of your doors. Now, what we also want to add onto the system is, because we don't want people to be able to just spam this and be able to open your doors whenever they want, we need to add a way to arm this system. So we can have the activator and the arming thing in the opposite ends of the base. But you want the arming thing to be in a high traffic area, so you guys are always hitting it. So we're going to hook that up. So we're going to go back to our default black here, as our power is just continuing to pass through. And then we're going to go to our laser. So we're going to go down over here to our laser detector. And then our laser detector is going to set our memory cell. Now, when our memory cell is receiving power, well, we'll get to that actually in a second. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to continue on our default black wire journey. So that's our anti-spam. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to be adding a timer system into this, a timer system. So this timer, we're going to run this on a yellow line at the left side here. So this timer is going to be set to your preference as a team. So if your team is only on for a couple of hours a day, you guys are only on for 2 or 3 hours a day, then you guys are going to want to set this timer to be about 2 or 3 hours. If you're in a large group and you guys are on all day and you really don't have to worry about your doors all that much, I would set this to 8 hours, which just happens to be 28,800. So that's 8 hours. Every 8 hours, all of your doors will close so long as somebody has passed over this laser, which is why you want to put the laser in a high traffic area. If you don't hit this laser, then this will not work, which means that this will not work. So in order to make this activator, we're going to be sending power out from there. It's going to continue on into this OR switch because I want to be able to power this timer up, using the base destruction, which is this thing, which we'll get to. So I want to be able to power that from there as well. And then I'm going to take this and put this into my timer. There we go. Now, in order to continuously make sure that this gets activated every single time it turns off, so that means 8 hours, it'll automatically be activated again. We need to add a repeater. So in order to add the repeater, we're just going to do this in the default black. Now our right side here is what's going to turn on our timer. And then the left side here is going to be orange, and it's going to block the blocker. So essentially what's happening is the power's coming up through here, it's going through here, and then blocking it. So every time this flashes, it's sending a signal into this timer. So it's constantly activating it. But it won't reset until the timer is gone all the way through. So you can hit this as many times as you want, and it doesn't matter. Now, in order to actually power everything, in order to power all of our doors, now I used to have this all on one system where all of this would also power all of this, but this is where I actually use this green battery. So by doing it this way, and not having any of the rest of the system on here, I'm actually able to use the full capacity of this battery in a one-shot, in a one-time shot. I'm able to use the full capacity, so I'm actually able to use 98 power, which means I have 98 doors, or 100 power minus the 2 it needs to go through here. But I can actually hook up 98 or 97 doors, 98 doors to this, which is incredible, which is all the doors you could ever think of inside your base, you can hook up to this. And then this right here is the final piece of the anti-spam unit. So I'll give you guys a brief demonstration of how this works here. Let's go a little higher. Oh, I don't like that at all. I like that. Okay, so right now I've walked through the laser, so everything is armed. Now, if this timer was to be coming near the end of it, end of its time, then it would send the power through and activate the timer. But it's not. So because it's in the middle of the cycle and we're being rated, I can manually activate it. So when I do, you'll see this light up green. Oh, I didn't set the values. Hold on, let me set the values properly here. That would definitely help if I did that. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Okay, that's 5, and that has to be 3. There we go. Okay, so both of these lights are off, which means I've walked through the laser, which means that this thing is armed and ready to go. So if I hit this, why did that not? Oh, I gotta finish setting this up. Sorry, I forgot one last thing. I gotta activate this, which is right here. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry guys, I'm just missing one piece. Okay, well, when everything's right. Okay, so I've walked through the laser. Both those lights are off. Everything is active, ready to go. I can manually hit this, and away it goes. Now you'll notice that that green light stays on. Now because that green light is on, I can hit this as many times as I want, and it doesn't matter. Both of those lights won't go off, so it won't activate the doors. So if somebody does manage to get into the base and gets to this point, um, they won't be able to do anything. The only way they'll be able to do anything is if they know about this laser. So this laser and this timer have to be as far apart as possible in order for this to work. So the other beauty about this is that say you guys hop on, you play your 3 hours and then log off, and then your system goes off, or you manually turn this off, then it won't reactivate while you guys are offline. And the reason that's important is because this will open any closed door and then reclose it immediately. So you never want to use this on the outside of your base. You only want to use this on the inside of your base and for garage doors. So, and then again, this will activate just before a raid, or while you're being raided. This will activate, and then it won't turn on and it won't reactivate again until you hit this laser, right? So it's really good to have all of this set up. So this is the lockdown system. Um, yeah, and this is why you add it to your base. Hey, buddy.
Hello?
Hey,
The fuck you sending me a voicemail for, you motherfucker?
I'm recording a video.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to fuck up your video.
Oh, it's all I did not fart.
It would be pretty funny if I did, though.
All good, Mr. Jimmy. All good, buddy. Oh, it's all good, man. You can't hurt my feelings, buddy. Don't you worry about it. Bless your little heart. All right. Do. Do. Damn controller. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hmm. All right, and time for all of the secondary systems. So these are less important, and you also don't want these on while you're being rated. So these are actually going to be run through a memory cell. And then from the memory cell, we're going to go from the right side into this first one. And then from here, we're going to go into the second one. And then we're just going to daisy chain these together. Just like that, creating an electrical tree made of electrical branches. Now, we're going to first set up for our secondary systems our automatic lights. going to come over here, and we're going to make sure this has 20. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to toggle this. And we're going to disconnect the button. Anytime you need to toggle this, we're going to connect the button, and then we're going to disconnect it. But the only time we need to do this, or will ever need to push this button, is if we've been raided. Otherwise, all of this will be on. And then in order to make this automatic, we're going to take an orange wire. We're going to run this up to our roof. And we're going to run this into an east-facing panel. Just like that. And then when that's collecting power, it's going to block the blocker, and it's going to allow the power into your lights. And then with lights, they need 2 power, but only if your power passing through them. The last ceiling light only ever needs 1 power, which is why you can run 20 power through this, even though you would need 21 to power the blocker. So that's why you're doing that. Now, the other secondary system I have is my automatic airlock. So I have it set up here for 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 automatic airlocks, and then this sets up to another 6 automatic doors, which I will show an example for you to you guys in a build video where I actually put this in a base, and I'll show you how all of that works. So it's pretty cool, but that's what all of this is for. And then to wire all of that up, I'll actually do that really quick for you guys so you guys can see what that looks like. So I'm going to configure this to 7 because each one of these only needs 7 power to run. And then what's a good color? Let's go green. There's no green here. So we're going to go from here. And put it into there. And then we're going to run it into three different things here. So actually, I'm going to start from here, power in, and just go straight down. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, power in, go straight down. And then we're going to go and power the heartbeat sensor. Okay. And then yellow. Yellow. And yellow. So basically what it comes down to is this is going to be outside, facing away from your base, outside of your gatehouse, about 2 stories up off of the ground. When you run up and get close to your base, your front door of your airlock is going to automatically open for you, which is one of the areas where people seem to die a lot, is trying to open the doors and jump into their base. Well, this is going to open it for you. And if you die, well, then it's going to close it. And then the next 2 are for your actual airlock, the other airlock doors. So this one and this one are going to be attached and paired to the same door, and then this one's going to be attached to your inner door. So on your way out from your base, you're going to hit the laser, which opens the door for you for the first airlock. And then when you walk in, it's going to close behind you. And then when you walk through the next one, it's going to open the front door of your airlock. And then as you leave, it's going to close behind you. So you never have to open a single door in. The heartbeat sensor will detect you and open the door for you. And then as soon as you go inside, you're going to hit the laser, and you're no longer going to be sensed to close the door. And then feel safe. And then once you pass through it, it'll close behind you automatically. So you only ever have to open one door, and that's on your way in because it's automatic, right? And then you have a shotgun trap or something inside. But then this allows you to have 4 different gatehouses like that. And then for these top 2, you build the exact same thing only with lasers. And that's something for like your shooting floor where you only have one layer of protection, right? So this is all you'll have 6 single layer protection doors that you can go to. So every time you want to leave your base and go out onto your shooting floor, you're going to trigger that. It's going to open the door. You walk through it, and then it's going to close the door behind you. When you're coming into the base, you open the door, you trigger this, it closes the door automatically behind you. So, yeah, 4 gatehouses and then 6 extra doors. Automatic lights. We'll get to that in a second. That's part of the destruction detection. But yeah, so now the thing is you don't want these lasers and everything going on. So when you're being rated, this will automatically kill the power to these, so these are no longer active. So that's what that's for. But this will only ever trigger and turn off if you're being raided. And then if you survive the raid, you just come over here, attach this, push the button, and turn everything back on. So we'll keep that off for now. Yeah, that's the secondary systems. Oh, now the Tesla trap. Oops. This is awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It is pretty awesome. Didn't like that at all. Don't want to turn this on too soon. That is for sure. Left side. A what? Oh, I've been working without power that whole time, or lights the whole time. I just ran out of gas. So yeah, yellow, yellow, yellow. Okay. Now, all of this gets powered off of its own battery, which is this red one over here. It gets to join the colorful wire gang. Put it there. We'll say here looks good. Ah! Oh, I spawned somewhere else. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... Okay. I forgot to even record that. Let's try that again, shall we? I even forgot that I was recording. I was set it up way too soon too, which is not good. Alright, but see, this is the behind the scenes learning shit that you guys get to see. I keep forgetting little things, right? So, anyway. Alrighty, so now we have the Tesla trap set up. So in order to set this up, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to run power to it. Now the Tesla trap is fun in the sense that it gets its own battery, which is this red line right here. So we're going to run our red line. Alright, and now it's time for the Tesla trap setup build. So in order to build this, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go and run power to this. So this is the second thing. So to use its own battery. The first was a lockdown, so that way we got to utilize all of the battery power coming out of it. And now the second is going to be this. Now the reason this is going to be on its own battery instead of on the backup is because this is only going to be activated during times of being rated. So this really only has a draw of like 1 or 2 that we actually have to fulfill into it, which is nothing. So we're totally going to take advantage of the fact that we can use this memory cell to do that, and we're going to do that. I also want to be able to provide all 100 power into this thing. So each one of these things are going to get split into 50 power each. So we should get about 15 power out of each one of these Tesla coils, which is half of the power and damage that they can do and take. Um, yeah, so that's why I have the two. So you can put one in your loot room, and you can put one down near your TC room. So we're branching off into two ways. And then we're going to go from the right side. Down into our timer. I'm going to do the same on this side. But these are going to be branched off to the left, just because I have something that I have to hook up into that. And we're going to go up and into the right. So now that these have power, we're going to set each one of these to be 10 seconds. So now, when one of these picks up a bad guy, it's going to set off the timer, activating all of the Tesla coils for 10 seconds. So they're not continuously draining, and you'll get a little longer life out of them. And 10 seconds at 15, if you're stuck in one or two of these, will kill you pretty quickly. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to, before we do anything else, we're going to hook up our yellow line into our power in. And then we're going to exclude authorized. And then exclude authorized. We're going to take our power out. Connect that into our timer. And we're going to do the same thing here. Connect this into our timer. Now we can finish setting it up. And then you're also going to want another button for here as the final piece de resistance. So now everything is set up. So now if a bad guy was to walk in front of this, this would turn on for 10 seconds, turning these on, frying whoever it is. So you want to make sure that you have one of these. Wherever this can see them, you want to make sure you have one Tesla coil after and then two on the way back. So if they jump forward and they go more into sight, then they're still being hit by two Teslas. If they jump back and they try and run away, they're still being hit by two Teslas. I'll show you guys an example of that later. But these things are super annoying. They drive me nuts, and I don't like listening to them. So the only time this thing ever has to be on is if our base is being raided. So what I can do, I can go over here, toggle it, and now I don't have to listen to it. And if we go over to the battery it's on, it's draining on 8. It shouldn't be on 8. But yeah, it's only draining 8. So now I can sit here and I'm charging it over there. Um, and now I can just sit here. And then when I'm being rated, this will be activated. It'll switch over, and then everything turns on and it's ready to go. And then only once you've successfully defended your raid, can you come in here, reconnect this wire, and turn it off. And then always disconnect. So this will be activated when you get raided. And then, yeah, so there's two. One for your loot room, one for your TC room. Yeah, let's move on. Alright, let's get him hooked up. Alright, I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and for turrets. So for turrets, it's fairly straightforward. Just copy what you see here. It's not that hard. You're going to connect this big giant tree here into the right side of your electrical branch. Well, first you're going to have your power in, which is going to go up. This is part of your destruction detection, which is why it's going here. And it's going to go up into here. So now this side, or this small one, goes into there. And then that's how you're going to power all of your turrets. We're also going to, because we have 60 turrets along the bottom here, because we have 60 turrets, we're also going to run an extra 60 power through the system in order to hook different things up to them. So one of the things you definitely want to hook up to this thing is the audio alarm. It is very weak. It only has 100 health. And that's important because it's going to be part of the destruction detection. It's just going to help you out. Now, deciding where it goes on here is completely up to you. So if you put it on has target, I don't think that really helps because an audio alarm on the turret that's already shooting, that's already your audio alarm. Low ammo, that could be a good one if your ammo's getting low. No ammo, that I think would be the best one. If I had to choose which one I'm putting the speaker on, I'm going to put it on the no ammo. So if it's out of ammo, it's going to bug me and bug me and bug me until I do something about it. Now, to prevent that from happening, I want to have a light. But lights are expensive, especially for 60 turrets. But if you've got the extra and you can splurge, go for a flasher light. Now, a flasher light, I think, is a far better case for using on the low ammo. Because if you see that flashing, okay, this turret's low ammo, I gotta go and get some more ammo for it and put that in before this thing annoys the shit out of me. And then lastly, you don't need to know if it has a target or not because it's going to shoot at them. Alright, so we're going to hook this up to a RAND switch. And I know you're thinking, why the RAND switch? Well, because this hooks up to the destruction detection. Now, what do I mean this whole time about destruction detection? Well, that is what we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you now in this next part. I'm so sorry. Okay, so here it is. This is probably the most important part. Okay, so here it is. This is what really helps make this smart system extra smart. And this is the destruction detection. This design was given to me by a gentleman named Swift Coyote. You can find him on Rusticity Workshop. Man, I can never say that. Rusticity Workshop. You can find them on Discord. Just look them up. They're super popular. They've got a ton of cool builds there and stuff. But This was given to me directly by him, and um, boy, have I made good use out of it. So for this destruction detection kit, we're going to set this up. So for our final battery here, which is our yellow line, now this we want to run on its own battery because we want this to run 24/7, 365. We never want this one to quit. We're going to run it into here. This is the good stuff. So from our right side, we're going to go up into the timer, and then from the left side, we're going to go into the activate timer. And then when this turns off, we're going to set this to 1 second. Set time, 1 second. From the timer, I'm going to go into the memory cell, which, as you see, activates the timer. What I'm pretty sure is happening is that every time you add something onto this line or remove something onto this line, it resets the line, which resets this, which then resets the timer. Because even though it's continuously receiving power right now, it's not enough to actually activate the timer. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's working. This is just acting like a reset, because you really don't need to, you only need to send a couple power through this, and everything else, let me show you. Okay, so this is set up. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be this right side. Yeah, it's going to be this right side. That we're going to go up, and we're going to run all the way over here to our turret line. This is the second OR switch, the upper one. And that connects into there. So everything connected now after this, so every single one of your turrets, every single audio alarm, every single flasher light, and every single RAN switch is now hooked up to that system. So if this RAN switch, which is on this wall, gets destroyed, when this wall gets destroyed, it'll activate the system. If this RAN switch that's sitting on your external wall gets blown up when they try and raid in, it's going to activate the system. Same with this light, and same with the audio alarm. Now the audio alarm is weak, so you put it right next to the turret, so when they try and blow up the turret, it automatically goes off. If you put this light in an area like this, somewhere where they're more likely to blow up into, then as they try and explode into your walls on the outside of your base, it'll activate the system. And if you put these on all your compound walls, it'll activate the system. And none of these actually require power to use. So you can add 5 more RAN switches to your outer layer of compound walls, like that, requiring no power. And as soon as this one gets destroyed, it activates. So, now, because what it's doing is it's sending its power out here. Here, let me set the time. Set this to 20 seconds. So right now it's sending all of its power out the left side of this, and this is what's going to activate things. But it's never going to send power out this. It's never going to send power out this right side. But anything connected to this is connected to the system. So because this is connected to the turrets, then all of the turrets and everything connected to the turrets counts as making it go off. And then because of that, we're going to activate a few things. So we're going to, there are two main things that we want to activate. So the first main thing that we want to activate is going to be our battery backup system, which is this thing right here. Oh, I hate that. There we go. So now, we'll wait for this to turn off. Perfect. So now if a turret or anything else like that gets destroyed and you're being raided, this will automatically activate, which will then activate this, which then activates this, and turns on all of your power, your backup battery power for 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, everything's going to turn off. And they're going to think, hey, there's no, they have no more power, let's go right in. And then they're going to destroy one of these things, guaranteed, and then the whole system's going to turn back on for another 30 minutes. So that they can either continue to raid, or they can think that somebody just turned it on and they'll come back when it's out of power. Lots of things. So we're activating our battery backup system, right? And then the next thing we're going to activate is going to be our secondary systems. We don't want these secondary systems working. We don't want these secondary systems working when we're being raided, because these are automatic entry and exit doors. And the last thing we want to do is give them automatic entry or exit. So we're going to hook this up onto the right one. Which then means we also need only 2 and 2, yeah. So as you can see, because the thing activated, it turned off all of the lights and all of the secondary systems because we're being raided. So now, at the end of the raid, we come back here, we turn our systems back on. Right? Yay! So, raided, lights and auto doors turn off. Done being raided. Oh. Why didn't that work? Okay, that was glitched, because that was hooked up the exact same way just a second ago. But anyway, so yeah. Now, because we're swapping the power over here when we're being raided, we can then also have this thing activate other things. So the first one, which I believe is the right side. Yeah. I believe is the right side. Goes into this one. So this system is off. This system is on. The rate detection goes off. Oh, and okay, so we'll do all three. So the lockdown system is armed. Our secondary systems are on. And our Tesla trap setup is off because we hate that sound. And this is going to be on the outside anyway, so we won't really hear it. Right. So now we're being rated. This should go off. This should go off. This should go off. This should turn off, and this should go on, turn on. And there we go. Oh, the reason why that one didn't go off is because we have to connect. Where'd it go? Oh, that one. We have to connect this to this. There we go. Okay, so done being rated. Done being rated. And that's been triggered. Now we're going to turn this off. So turn on, turn off, or oh, my generator's turned off. Okay. But yeah, give me a second. Oh, come on, why don't you split? Thank you. Okay. Off. On. Armed. Not on. This should be on. This should be off. This should get activated. And then this one should get turned on. Mwahahaha. Fucking genius. blue. Activate that. Store that power. Turn this off. And now, since if I hook this up, now as soon as I hook this up to this turret, all of that should activate actually. Off, on. That was activated because I had one. And that's activated. Mwaha! Okay, so let's disconnect. Light blue line. Hit that. We'll reset this. We will reset this. While I'm looking at it, if I fuck it. There we go. So power comes in, gets split up. Power going to the batteries, power going to the extra batteries, power being combined, anti-drain 30-minute system, destruction detection for anything down there. Just to prove it, these things have no power running to them whatsoever. Just disconnecting this activates it. Boom. Alright, so that's the build guide. The full build guide. Now for the walkthrough video, which I'm going to do completely separate. I won't do it on stream here. This will just be the build video. A couple of times in it, but it is what it is. Don't want to be wasting battery power. Oh, come on. No. But I really want to. No. Look at the... You guys ever notice how the lines look really cool when you're wearing a headlamp? Trippy. Alright guys, thanks for watching the build video. For all the proper values, all that stuff, this is just kind of like a wiring guide. I don't know. I had to build it anyway, so I might as well stream it while I build it, right? So, but yeah, the full breakdown explanation will be here soon. Okay, see you guys in the next one. Peace.